yourself comfortable. And for this part of the lesson, you'll be lying down, so please listen to yourself. If the most important thing is your comfort, how do you do that? Maybe you shift at times. And as you begin to settle in, feel your contact with the floor. It's here to support you. Just notice as you begin to settle in, areas that are not yet ready to do that. And just give a little bit of time. Whether you keep your legs long or you bring them to stand, throughout, could you listen to your process in movement? So, of course, sense and feel where you make contact with the floor and where it's not so clear. Where there is weight or a sense of leaning or pushing back versus just resting. Is there a difference? Also, where there's space. Is it the natural space of a spine or joints, like behind the knee, or behind your neck or lower back? Are there little channels running along your spine as we were investigating? Or without doing anything, is your spine feeling long and soft on the floor? Now, bring attention to how your head rests. Your head. And then, your eyes. Your eyes will stay closed. And just as if you're beginning to just really rest, feel the weight of your eyes. Gravity's your friend here. How your eyes can sink back into the sockets. There's a diaphragmatic muscle that supports the eyeball. And there's visceral fluid that lubricates and nourishes the eyes. And just listen to the quality of how your eyes can rest and be soft. Soft eyes. And now, gently, in your imagination, you have this lovely little paintbrush. It's a thin brush. And you're going to begin to take that paintbrush in your imagination to your left eye, to the corner, the inside corner, maybe of your brow. And then down to the area of your eye, the tear duct area. So the left eye, the inside corner. And in very slow, smooth strokes, you've dipped that paintbrush into a white paint. And very slowly, in an arcing movement, from the inside of the left eye to the brow, begin to paint a little thin white line that takes you to the outer edge of the brow and your left eye, and then return, drawing another thin line of white paint inward. And very slowly, you're going to continue moving from the left corner of the eye, moving further out to the left, to the outside edge of the left eye, including the brow, so that slowly one little line matching with the next line that's above it, you want to be able to slowly paint and cover the entire upper eye, the eyelids right now. But include the brow, the eyebrow, and all of that tissue. Slowly, one line at a time. Taking all the time you need, listening also to how you breathe, to find your left eye. It's more than the eye, the eyebrow, the orbit, the socket of your eye, the upper portion, the curve of your left eyebrow and eye. And as you continue painting this thin white line covering, follow the curve inward of your eye socket. Allow your eyes to be soft and quiet, your breathing easy, and continue to paint the white line. Is it a smooth, even flowing of the paintbrush? Are you finding how to match one line underneath the line above it? Just take all the time to find it, because it's your left eye. How gentle do you paint this line? It's an arcing of a horizontal line. The detail of you finding your left eye, and how soft can your left eye be as you explore gently painting. Feel how your eye can rest. And you continue the strokes of an arcing horizontal line slowly until you realize it's almost like eyeliner you're placing now as you get to the top of the eyelid, just above the eyelashes, as if you were painting eyeliner. And at your own pace, whether your legs are long or standing, can you attend to space between your legs? Or are they close together touching? Does it make a difference? So that you bring space between your feet, hip-shoulder width. Maybe not so familiar for some, but could you also explore that if feet are standing, legs long? And when you've completed painting your white, we'll call it eyeliner. Or maybe you were a clown putting on your face paint, but to cover that left upper eye. Then slowly begin now at the same place, maybe at the inside corner of the left eye, near your nose, And now begin to paint this white eyeliner, an arcing of the lower lid underneath the eyelashes over to the outside corner of your left eye. You're making arcing horizontal lines that are now filling the lower lid. There'll be a little hollowing underneath. Sometimes we get tired, or we get puffy eyes. We get a little puffy underneath there. Is it puffy? Or is it sinking in comfortably? Small, even strokes, as if you could touch slightly the line just above as you're drawing in the opposite direction, the line just underneath. As if you didn't want any of your skin to show. You were covering it. Discerning for yourself now the lower lid of your left eye. The curiosity of the shape of the orbit of your eye. And you can listen to your breathing as you continue to paint this thin white line. Maybe it doesn't take as long to cover the lower lid as it did the upper. Can you discern there's not as much space or territory to cover? But you cover down to where you would feel the bone of your cheekbone. Because now that starts the cheek. But up until that bone, you're filling with white paint. Is this interesting to you? Your left eye. And throughout you can listen to how you also breathe. This ability to hone our skills, to imagine, is a skill. And we're learning. And so, of course, you rest when you need to rest from this exploration. And then you come back. Can you pick back up where you left off? For those that have chosen to rest on a side, maybe you're just resting, but can you experience the shift in your eyes with gravity? And maybe there still continue to paint. And then once you feel, I've done this, I've covered the upper from the brow to the very, very top, the bottom portion of the upper lid, right by those eyelashes. And then you've done the bottom. Then come to the middle of your left brow and begin to make a vertical line. Now you're going to layer over all of those lines you drew, you painted from left to to right, right to left. Now begin to draw or paint a white thin line from the top, the middle of the top of the left eyebrow downward to the very top of the cheekbone. And then begin drawing a line next to that line upward, so that you're now going to draw vertical lines covering the middle to the left side of your left eye out to the corner. Making another layer of paint, white paint. Any potential space that might have occurred as you drew those or painted those horizontal lines, you'll make sure you've covered over with these vertical lines. You take your time, because there's an interest, a curiosity, also following over the little curve of your eye, and then the little wells in. Little hill and dale, if you will, or peaks and valleys. Smooth strokes of this white paint. And in your own time, when you eventually notice that these vertical lines are getting shorter as you move further to the outside edge of your left eye, cross back over. It's doing a double layer of paint now over what you just painted, coming back slowly to the center and continuing to cover now the other half of your left eye, moving towards your nose, the bridge of your nose, or where we think of our tear ducts being in our eyes. Noticing the arcing that starts to happen on these vertical lines. Does it change as you come more to the center of your eye? That arc gets longer or goes a little more towards the ceiling before it arcs back down? To distinguish these subtle little differences, as well as discerning when in movement, even though you're lying, you shift yourself gently. Eventually, you will have completely covered your entire left eye with either 2 to 3 layers of this white paint. When you've completed covering over your left eye in both the original horizontal lines and now these arcing vertical lines, you pause a beat or two. And then you're going to take another paintbrush and dip it in black paint. And slowly begin to paint your eyelashes. You have eyelashes on the top lid and eyelashes on the bottom lid. what is the length of your eyelashes? Or how thick or thin are your eyelashes? And do you get that paintbrush, that tiny paintbrush, right to the follicle, that place on your eyelid that you draw it out? A little wisp of your eyelashes, one and then another. Where did you start? On the top lid or the bottom? The inside corner, the middle, the outside corner. Where did you choose that it was clearer or simpler for you to begin this process? Maintaining your curiosity and interest in your left eye and the tissue that covers the eye, but it's still your left eye. And when you've painted all of the eyelashes, maybe even painted more because you want more, then dip that paintbrush back in the black paint, and through the eyelid, the eyelashes, can you sense and feel the pupil of your eye? And begin on top of the white paint of your closed eyes painted, draw the pupil of your left eye. Are you starting from the center and circling like a vortex, or from the outside? How did you do it? Or how are you doing it? Is it thin little lines going up or down or across? How are you finding your left eye pupil? And when you've completed painting your left pupil, pause a beat or two, giving up that work. It's work to imagine and envision doing this. And for a moment, create that scan again to notice the left side of you compared to the right side. The left eye compared to the right eye, or the left cheek or left nostril compared to the right, or the space in your mouth on the left side compared to the right, and anything else further down comparing the left side to the right, to notice what you notice. If you gently, slowly rolled your head a little from one side to the other, to which side would you start? Interesting. And then you come back to the center. And can you begin that process of your right eye? You have to go back to that white thin paintbrush. And start from the inside of the right brow, by the nose. And you know the process. Paint over the right eye, but start at the brow. So that you can learn about your right eye, because they're different. The shape of your eye, your eyebrow, where does it seem different as you begin this process of painting? Is this interesting? Finding yourself, starting with your eyes. Learning the skill of how to quiet down and imagine and notice your nervous system, how it responds. And if throughout there was one thing you could do to make it easier, I like this more, what would you do? Rest? Shift yourself a little bit? Honoring you. When you've completed the upper right portion of your eye in that arcing horizontal lines, one, the other, begin the lower. Outlining the lower lid. You start from right underneath where the eyelashes are. Start at the inside corner of the right eye, right by the nose. There's already a comparison going on. After having explored the left eye, is it easier to find the right or not? And in your own time, when you've completed the white lines that have gone horizontally, begin the vertical lines. Do you want to begin in the center of the eye, going up and down or down and up? Or do you want to start at one end of the eye or the other? These are vertical lines, but notice where the line becomes the longest and where that vertical line is the shortest. And all the incremental lines that connect one to the other. The idea is that you've painted over with many small lines your right eye. Can your right eye rest? And And then, when you're ready, okay, there it is. Then you change your paintbrush and you want that thin black paint because now you're going to find your right eyelashes, tops and bottom. And notice where you choose to start painting each one of your eyelashes. And you get to paint more eyelashes if you'd like, if you want thicker eyelashes or longer. It's your image. Make what you want it to be. In your own process, when you've completed your eyelashes, dip that paintbrush back into the black paint and find the pupil of your right eye. You're going to paint that over the lid. So if somebody else were looking, even though your eyes are closed, resting, they're going to see these white, lovely eyes and these black lashes and your black pupils looking at them. When you've completed painting your right eye, the lids, the eyelashes, and the pupil, you pause a moment to notice, did something change in your awareness of your right eye, your right side, compared to the left? What's the difference? Or what's similar? And then the sensations along the right side of your body compared to your left. What's different? And then slowly roll your head a little from one side to the other. To notice what you notice. Then very slowly, whether you're on your back or your side, bring yourself to sit. Give yourself time, and slowly you'll transition to stand. When you're ready, you'll open your eyes, and then you notice what you notice, what you see, and the quality of your vision. you're learning is to notice what you notice. And what you notice is in the moment what you're learning and is important to you. And when you're ready, have your little walk. Notice if the colors in the room seem different. Or look at some of your litter mates and look at their eyes, or their faces, or their complexion. It'll take about a 15 minute